Good evening, crafting friends. I'm Dorene Decibus from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to day 8 of the 12 days of Halloween. So thank you for joining me tonight. I'm excited to be here to show you my latest project, and this is what it is. It's another cute little treat box, and so this one holds some of my favorite candy, the Hershey's milk chocolate. Holds 3 of those little bars, and I'm debuting this adorable ghost tonight, so I'll be showing you that as well. So the materials that we need are very limited for this design. Of course, you need your candy, you need some ribbon, you're going to need some scraps of basic white cardstock so that you can do your stamping and cutting. And then for the supplies for the actual project, you need a piece of 4.5 by 5.5 piece of excuse me, I'm using basic black cardstock, and then you need a piece of what I'm using the two-tone Gorgeous Grape cardstock, and that is 1 3/4 inches by 1.5 inches. And then I'm using the Granny Apple Green, the one that has like the bubbles on it, like coming out of a cauldron, and that measures 1.5 by 4.5. So those are the things that I'm going to be using. I could actually use either of these pieces of designer series paper tonight, but I really like this purple and green combination. So to start with, we're going to do some scoring. So let me just get the treat box out of the way and get our paper out of the way. There we go. So let me get my score tool. Okay, make sure you can see this. All right, I'm going to start by scoring on the longer side of the board. Let me just grab my scoring tool. I'm going to start by scoring at 2 inches and 2.5 inches. So easy scoring, 2 inches and 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to turn it to my 4.5 inch side. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm just going to score here. I'm going to just flip it over and score here again. So that is all of the scoring we need to do. It's a really simple treat box, and one that you can use up some of your scraps of paper. So just to show you, I'm going to just take this out so you can see. It just has the 2 sides up here, though I think I'm going to do something with that. We are going to have this. There's nothing that we're going to be chopping off. We're going to be using all of it, but we are going to cut those 2 little lines there so that we will have those 2. Let's see where I put my paper snips. I've been using them all afternoon, so I'll just use a different pair of scissors. Like my snips better, though. So I'm just, before I do any of my cutting, my scoring, I'm going to just cut those little flaps. Now, if you want to, you can always miter those edges by just cutting a little piece out of the flap. Let me just get that piece. It's kind of stuck there. Oops, nope, it fell. And you do that by, just cutting in after you've done that cutting. So there we go again. I will cut in and then just miter those edges just a little bit. Okay, that part's done. You can see how easy this is going to be. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I am just going to burnish all of my edges. So to give an idea, the shorter side is the front of my box and the taller side is my back. So now I'll burnish the sides. So if I was making this for children, I said, you got to decide how much embellishing you're going to go for on a treat box, because they're there for the candy, right? So now this is just going to fold together like, I want the smaller piece to go on the inside. It's just going to fold together like that. So it's, like I said, a quick and easy box. So I am going to put my adhesive right here. I could use tear and tape, but this is just such a little box. There's not much going in it, so I'm just going to use the Stampin' Seal. Could use the Stampin' Seal Plus. And then these are just going to go in on the inside. I'm going to close them in. And look at that, how quick and easy this box is to put together. I'm just going to push my bone folder in to just make sure it's all adhered. But there's the box. The other thing that you could do, if these corners bother you, I was thinking about this after I had made the last one. You can easily just trim those corners off and end up having a box that has just a nice little edge on it. So that's what I'll do for this time, because we're not going to go around and cover everything. If you look on the original one, the back doesn't have any designer series paper in it. But while I'm here, I'm just going to do the same with those edges, because the edges, for whatever reason, were really bothering me. So there's that. Okay, the next step to doing this, excuse me, I feel like I have a frog in my throat. I'm just going to put my designer series paper. I'm going to layer it right here on this piece of paper. It's only layered top to bottom, so you want those ends to meet. And then what I'm going to do, and let me just get my score tool out again. I'm going to score these at a 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm going to score it at 4. This is just going to help me when I'm attaching it to the front to get a nice fold. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to fold and burnish that really well. Again, this is the type of, and it's going to go across the front just like that. How cool. So easy to do. So I am just going to now put some adhesive on this. So again, as I was saying the other day, any of these little treat boxes I'm doing for Halloween could easily be turned into a Christmas gift box. So just something to think about as you're, if you decide you don't really need these projects for Halloween, they could easily turn into Christmas projects. All right. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is just put some ribbon around this, tie a bow, and then we'll get to our stamping. So I need a little bit more. Well, that wasn't the best way to cut that. Get my fabric shears out, my ribbon ones. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and wrap it around. I want my bow to happen on the right-hand side. And I am just going to get my ribbon where I want it to be. I'm going to do that first tie, bring in my self-closing tweezers to hold it all in place while I tie the bow. There we go. I'll take my tweezers out, and now I can tighten it to make sure it's nice and tight. Adjust it how I want it to be. I'm going to bring it over a little more to the side and then just trim the ribbon. So now we just have to decorate. Okay, so that's all said and done. So on this piece of cardstock, I'm going to be starting with stamping just the trick or treat, and we're going to be cutting that out. Let's see where I put my trick or treat. Thought I just had it out here. So what did I put on top of it? Oops, I put it away. All right, here we go. So I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it right here. And then what I am going to do is I'm just going to take my snips and I am going to trim this off. I just want this to be a little box. So I'm going to trim each side and then trim the bottom. So when I put this on, it's going to fit in that spot nicely. Okay, now for our ghost. So tonight's the first night I am using this third ghost. It is such an adorable ghost. So it is the Flying Witch, which is just so cute. And I'm going to be coloring it in. So the first thing I'm going to do is color in its cape. So I'm using the Granny Apple Green again. And I'm just going to trace the inside where I want to color this in. There we go. And you have to notice there's a little bit of the cape showing right over there on the other side of the ghost's head. So you want to make sure you get that colored in. And then I'm going to be coloring in some of the bands on the hat in the green as well. So I'm going to do a little pattern and then add every third band. I'm going to add some Granny Apple Green. There we go. The buckle and the patch are going to be done in Pool Party. There we go. And then I'm going to take Pumpkin Pie and fill in the next row. And then use the black. And I'm using the light black. I mean, black is kind of black, so I don't think it really matters if I use the dark or the light. And then I'm going to color in one of that leftover row in the black. There we go. That is just so cute. just to show you what it looks like. Like I said, it's just so cute. All right, so now we're going to color in the Broom, and I'm going to start with the light pecan pie, and color in the broomstick, and then color in the Broom, and I'm going to add some dark pecan pie just to accent some of that in the Broom. There we go. So that is it, all colored in. It is such a cute little witch, I have to say. It just is adorable. All right, so now we're, through the magic of TV, I'm going to cut that baby out, and here it is. And now we're going to use some dimensionals, to put it together. Wrong one. So I'm going to take some dimensionals. Let me grab another. I think I was just about out last time. So we'll grab a fresh sheet of dimensionals and we'll put these on. And then I'm actually going to cut just one of these little pieces off the side to go down on the Broom. There we go. So now we'll just take these pieces off. And we're going to place the witch right on the treat box. I am going to, there we go. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal adhesive to put the trick or treat on. And it's going to go right in this space right here. There we go. And the last thing we have to do is add our gems. And because we're using the purple with this, with the black, I'm going to use the purple gems. So we are going to put a big one right up here under the bow, and then add 2 of the small ones. Right here and here. And then we can take our 3 little mini Hershey candy bars and put them in, and that is a cute and adorable little treat box for a trick-or-treater in your neighborhood. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight's edition of the 12 Days of Halloween. I'll be back tomorrow for, I believe tomorrow's day 9, and I will be sharing with you another project. This time it'll just be a card, since I did a treat box tonight, because I've been trying to alternate those. And what I want you to be on the lookout for is that I won't be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, because my Simply Stamping Sunday's at 7 o'clock. So I'll be on sometime between 7:30 and 7:45 if you're looking to watch the live. It will be shortly after. I'll just have to clean up from my live and then get everything ready for this. So I hope to see you tomorrow night. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Good night.